Good morning, everyone. Oh, what do I see there? Oh, hold still, hold still. Oh, got a tick. Ooh, a little tick jar here. I have never seen so many ticks all through winter too. Was that the only one? Huh? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they get tick medicine and all that, but because they're all back from their run already. They weren't out for very long today, huh? Why not? Nothing interesting to chase out there? Okay. Let us just get started. We have a fire going. It's going to be very warm outside, and I'm sweating already. It's nice to sweat in the wintertime. That's what it is. Leviticus 5. Some cases of sacrifice for sin. Oh, something else came to my mind after I was done with the video yesterday, and that is, if something is obviously, I guess it's kind of like Jesus did with the pigs and the unclean spirits or whatever, and sent them into the pigs, and the pigs went into the water, which doesn't make sense either in a way, but so to acknowledge sin and then just burn all the meat, this and that, right? Yeah, I guess was you don't eat infected meat. Spiritual life is really real. It really is, and it can take many different forms. It just depends, again, on our state of mind, right? Yes? Yeah, there's many ways in the physical to use spiritual life. Sure is. And for spirits to use physical bodies, mankind, to their desires, and oftentimes that's not good. We got many problems out there with people's spirits, their spirit body to their physical body. Their spirit body has been taken over in the principles of love. That's why we got certain problems out there. Problems, just abnormalities, and as I said, it's interesting to see on how they escalated in every area when it comes to the realm of love. Not sure. How much farther can we degrade when it comes to all that? Well, I'm sure there's still some levels left. Not upper, going lower. Okay. If someone sins in any of these following cases, he should have come forward to give evidence when he heard the formal adjuration. Having seen the incident or known the facts, but he has not spoken out, and so bears the consequences of his guilt. Okay. Or someone touches something unclean, whatever it may be, the dead body of an unclean animal, wild or tame, or of one of the unclean reptiles, and without realizing it becomes unclean, he becomes answerable for it. Well, what to do? Just leave it laying there? Not sure. Or he touches some human uncleanness, whatever it may be, contact with which makes him unclean. Like rape? Adultery? He does not notice it. Then, realizing it later, he becomes answerable for it. Oh, again. Oh, well, we don't know, right? Or someone lets slip an oath to do something either evil or good in any of those matters on which someone may let slip an oath. Yeah, very easy to give promises. I think more promises are being broken than kept. Yeah, that's a problem. That's trust just goes right out the door. He does not notice it, then realizing it later, he becomes answerable for it. If you don't, okay. If he is answerable in any of those cases, he will have to confess the sin committed. As a sacrifice of reparation for the sin committed, he will bring Yahweh a female from the flock, sheep or goat, as a sacrifice for sin. And the priest will perform the rite of expiation for him to free him from his sin. Interesting. Doesn't say him or her. Wow. So easy again. Well, yeah. Okay. Just sacrifice some animals. Taken care of. Sin of private individuals. Continued. If he cannot afford an animal from the flock as a sacrifice of reparation for the sin he has committed, he will bring Yahweh 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, one as a sacrifice for sin and the other as a burnt offering. He will bring them to the priest, who will first offer the one intended for the sacrifice for sin. The priest will wring its neck, but not remove the head. He will sprinkle the side of the altar with the victim's blood, and then squeeze out the rest of the blood at the foot of the altar. This is a sacrifice for sin. He will then offer the other bird as a burnt offering according to the ritual. This is how the priest must perform the rite of expiation for the sin he has committed, and he will be forgiven. If he cannot afford 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, he will bring 1/10 of an ephah of wheaten flour as an offering for the sin committed. He must not mix oil with it or put incense on it, since this is a sacrifice for sin. He will bring it to the priest, who will take a handful of it as a memorial and burn this on the altar in addition to the offerings of food burnt for Yahweh. This is a sacrifice for sin. This is how the priest must perform the rite of expiation for the person for the sin he has committed in any of those cases, and he will be forgiven. In this case, the priest has the same rights as in the case of cereal offering. Okay, that may make sense to some. Again, it seems like is that going to keep people from sinning? All you have to do is just, okay, got all kinds of ways to fix that. It doesn't say here anywhere, did the people sin? Did they actually? But then, if they didn't, would it be necessary to have all these laws to correct sin? The sacrifice of reparation. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, if someone is unfaithful and sins inadvertently by infringing Yahweh's sacred rights, as a sacrifice of reparation, he must bring Yahweh an unblemished ram from his flock, the value of which will be decided by you in silver shekels according to the rate of the sanctuary shekel. He will make amends for what... Oh! That's how you get the taxes in. He will make amends for what his sin subtracted from the sacred... I'm sorry, you guys. I can't help it. Rights, adding 1/5 to the value and give it to the priest. The priest will then perform the rite of expiation for him of the ram for the sacrifice of reparation, and he will be forgiven. Hey, money talks here. Yep, you're going to get into heaven. Your sins will be forgiven if you got the money. If someone sins and without... If someone sins and without realizing it, does one... If they don't realize it, then how is it ever going to come out? Oh, somebody else is watching goes, Oh, should have not done that. Really? I didn't know. Really, you didn't know? Oh, no, What I found is people don't sin in front of other people unless the sin is accepted in society. Right? Yeah. Then you have the support of the majority, so it won't matter. It will not be recognized as a sin. Right? Yes? Yeah. Gives everybody else the right to sin. Hey, who needs a conscience anyway? Or Daniela, what trip are you on this morning? Okay, I already had a conversation with my brother-in-law where we were discussing some things, and it's like, can't change certain things that are going on out there in the world, okay? Yes? But the thing is, I don't have to agree to it and go, well, it is happening, but you know what? The root of the problem is people just agreeing to whatever, and then it's suddenly I'm involved. Suddenly I'm the one that says, well, I didn't say anything. I don't want to judge and persecute. That is not my job. What my job is, though, is to say, wait a minute. Are you not realizing all the problems that come with certain decisions that are being made by either the individual, the family, the community, the nations, and the world? I don't want to be a part of all that. So what do? I try to teach. I say, no. According to, and the way a human being is supposed to live within society and work together around the world, you don't get to be that selfish. And include everyone in your sin. Pull them along. Brainwash them into it. Guilt trip them into it. Right? Yes? What? If people were so happy with themselves, everything they're doing just fine, hunky-dory, they wouldn't have to start accusing others out there. They wouldn't have to start pulling other people into problems that have nothing to do with the rest of the people. Right? Yes? But it sure feels much better, doesn't it? When, well, you got the okay. You got the okay from everyone. There's a law out there now that says it's okay. You see? Interesting. Anywho, where are we? Okay, if someone sins and without realizing it, oh no, wait. Where is the inadvertently going? Daniel, you lost your place again. I know. The priest will then perform the rite of expiation for him with the ram for the sacrifice of reparation, and he will be forgiven. If someone sins and without realizing it does one of the things forbidden by Yahweh's commandments, he will answer for it and bear the consequences of his guilt. As a sacrifice of reparation, he must bring the priest an unblemished ram from his flock to the value which you decide, and the priest will perform the rite of expiation for him for the oversight unwittingly committed, and he will be forgiven. This is a sacrifice of reparation. A man was certainly answerable to Yahweh. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, if someone sins and is unfaithful against Yahweh by deceiving his fellow countryman over a deposit or a security, or by withholding something due to him, or by exploiting him, or if he finds lost property and denies it, or if he perjures himself about anything that a human being may do criminally in such matters, if this sins and so becomes answerable, he must restore what he has taken or demanded in excess. The deposit confided to him, the lost property that he has found, or any object about which he has perjured himself. He will add 1/5 to the principal and pay the whole to the person who held the property rights on the day when he incurred the guilt. He will then bring Yahweh an unblemished ram from his flock to the value which you decide, to the priest as a sacrifice of reparation, and the priest will perform the rite of expiation for him before Yahweh, and he will be forgiven, whatever the act by which he incurred guilt. End of 5. One thing that comes to my mind right now is, what if this was all actually still in place for whatever? Every town would have an incredible amount of rams and whatever, right? Burnt as, yes? Yeah. I don't know. Was when we look through the commandments that were given to the people, all these commandments was stealing, deceiving people, lying, right? Adultery. How do you commit adultery as a man if you have, I don't know how many women already? Right? Wives, this, that, other things that the commandments sometimes really stomp me on what they are, and mainly because don't we all know how it feels to us when it happens to us by someone else? And it's never a good feeling when someone breaks one of the commandments, right? On top of you, on top of ourselves. We know how to feel. Why would we do that to someone else? Right? Vengeance and revenge. Right? And of course, it's always about power and greed, right? Yes? Interesting. And that was already so rampant at that time among the Israelites. It seems as if, even though the people already have the guidance from the Garden of Eden to Noah, to Abraham, they all to then Moses with, and then in between whoever comes along, and then to Moses in the desert with, now, looks like, 1 million people. Shouldn't there be some kind of a foundation there for the people to do better? As said before, right? 10 laws, simple laws that we don't like when someone does it to us, right? Yes? No one does. There's nobody out there that I know likes to be lied to or stolen from, or have his wife or husband or her husband taken by someone else. Okay, takes 2 to tango, doesn't it? Yes. Other things. 10 rules. We can't, even though we know the pain and hurt that they can cause to ourselves, can't follow, can't obey them, can't make that our goal in life, right? To be that good. Yeah, you can drive a car with X thousand rules out there, which people also happily break. Yes? Then you go to court, you pay a fine, you pay your ticket, that's it. Okay, you're forgiven now, you can get back on the road, right? Yes? Do it again. Do it again and again and again. Oh, that's it. You can always go on. That's it. Go to court. Yeah. Some people get their license taken for a while, and they work right at it again to get the license again. Oh, suddenly they can follow all the rules just to get that driver's license back, right? Then they have the license again. Often it doesn't take long, and they're already breaking the rules again on the road, right? Yes? Interesting. As couples, people make all these promises in front of each other, in front of God, in front of whatever religion, to be this united couple, this that, and it often doesn't take long anymore. And what? Right? Yes? Yeah. Interesting. That's it. Persecuting and judging doesn't really do any good. But that doesn't mean that one can't just look at things and go, oh, well, no wonder things aren't working out for you. Right? Yes? Say, yeah, that's probably not something anyone should do. Done. Figure out how to heal yourself. Figure out how to do better. Figure out how, even if you have to take your mind off of something and get into something good, practice, right? Yes? Practice to be better. Right? Okay. Is that what that is all about in Leviticus? Practicing to be better. Right? To go through the rituals where you get into, okay, and everybody knows it. Right? Do better. Or is I know, I'm just going to go and hand them over another ram. Yeah. Or does it just become another thing that just becomes a part of people's lives? Sin, then somehow, fix it to a certain point and go right back to sinning. And, I know how that feels. Yep, had to bring one yesterday. Yeah. Right. Okay, yeah. You're getting my drift here? Yeah. How about just don't? Anyway, it is what it is. Interesting to read. Yeah. I think that, I don't know, it doesn't really say. What are the sins that they're committing? Yeah. Exactly. Unclean, don't touch unclean animals or a dead body. Well, someone will have to bury people who are dead. What does that mean? I'm not getting it. Yeah. Does that mean something else? Yeah. What does it exactly mean? Yeah. The same. Well, you have to slaughter an animal to eat it. Now it's dead. Now you don't get to touch it. Not getting it. I do know that we've had some people call us and say, hey, we have some leftover deer here, deer meat, if you want to come and get it. They got the backstrap. The backstraps on a deer is the best thing. And oftentimes, a hunter will just kill a deer for that. And the rest of it gets tossed out. Not kidding, it's true. Gets tossed out. Oh, they want the head in the rack. Again, to show off their prowess. All right. We have some here too. But the ones that we have here often got found out there, right? Yes? Liam just been with us for so long, that those horns were pretty fantastic. And it's a reminder, it's just a memory, Well, anyway. And they came with them, two carcasses. That's literally what they were. And I'm looking at them and I'm telling my brother, I said, the flies have already laid eggs on that meat. I said, you can't eat that meat anymore. Oh, well, I said, no, we're not eating that meat. I said, there's no way. Okay, that's contaminated. Is that what that means? Unclean meat, tame or wild. If you find a dead animal in your herd, right? Don't know when it died. Don't eat it. Is that more what it means? And is God trying to protect you? Don't eat certain things. They're not good anymore. We don't have the system of a dog. Right? The acid stomach, the acid fluid in a dog's stomach, completely different than in a human's. Theirs is so much stronger. They can actually digest rotten meat just fine. Right? Or used to. Maybe now they're also bred to be way more vulnerable. I mean, this, that. I never had a dog that had any problems like that, so maybe yours are still more resistant to civilization. Okay. And the way people raise their dogs. Well, anyway, that's what I wanted to share this morning. Interesting how God, again, in a very merciful way, is trying to teach people. Look, I'm not going to be too tough on you, but, right? Yes? And on how, again, inadvertently, didn't know. You didn't. How could you not? Then I have to ask also, was there a lack of teaching going on by Moses and Aaron and whoever was in charge of all that to the people? Don't know. Wasn't there? No idea. Right? Yes? How about today? Is there a lack of teaching going on? How do you keep your flock together? It's very clear to me that the people served God, mainly. God was at the top. Moses, Aaron, the priests. It seems to me now, in order for a priest to keep his flock, he has to serve them. And if he doesn't serve them according to what their will is, they'll just walk away. Right? Yes? It should be that when one is a good teacher, you're loved, you're admired, and you're listened to. I think that's a little bit missing now these days, isn't it? Yes? Anywho, so there it is. That's all I have to share this morning. God's love and blessings always, and I will. And may He protect you. And I will talk to you all.